Hello, students. This week we are going to be talking about Garner's theory of multiple intelligences. So, before you continue watching this lecture, please make sure that you have read Chapter 4 in your Learn 11 e-textbook and that you have watched this video on Garner's theory of multiple intelligences. Once you have gone through Chapter 4, one of the things that you will see is the multiple intelligences inventory, which you will need to take before you watch this lecture as well. You can find this in section 4.4 of your Learn 11 ebook and make sure that you're following the instructions carefully. What you will do is place a check next to the possible characteristics that describe you. So be honest with yourself. Then you're going to tally up those points and identify the top 3 areas that have the most check marks. In those top 3 areas, you will then go and check off the possible learning strategies that you want to use this semester and improve yourself based on your multiple intelligences. We're not going to be turning in anything this week for the multiple intelligence inventory, but make sure that you keep track of your results because you will need it for an assignment next week. Please reach out if you have any questions on the multiple intelligence inventory. So, this is a great quote by Albert Einstein and really encapsulates what the multiple intelligences theory is all about. He says, everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. And so, really, that's what Garner is getting at in his theory of multiple intelligences. So he says that there is no single measure of intelligence, and then goes on to define intelligence as two different things. A, the ability to solve problems, or intelligence is also creating products that are valued within one or more culture. So I just want you to maybe pause this video and reflect. What are these products that could potentially be valued within culture that are a result of intelligences? So, you guys should have already taken your multiple intelligence inventory, and you should have your top 3 categories. I'm going to go through each of the categories and just talk to you about what each of them mean. So, looking at these different intelligences, the first one is verbal linguistic intelligence. Those who this is their one of their top categories, they learn by speaking, listening, writing, and reading. We consider these people word smart. So, you may be someone who really likes storytelling, whether that is verbally or in writing. This is verbal linguistic intelligence. The next kind of intelligence is mathematical or logical intelligence. If this is one of your top categories, you learn by problem solving, looking at patterns, making relationships between ideas, categorizing things, and you really just like the logic. So we consider you logic smart. People who scored high in this intelligence, you are precise, you're methodical, and maybe you're lovers of science. Now, I don't want you to put yourself into a box here and say that all of these have to describe you. Maybe some of them do, maybe some of them don't. I've heard people in the past say who are mathematical or logical that they're not necessarily lovers of science. That's okay. This can still be one of your top intelligences, and you're not a lover of science, or maybe you're not super precise. Okay, the next one is visual spatial intelligence. These people are what we call picture smart. And so you learn by creating images and you think in pictures or see the subject. You can visually see it in your mind. You're always imagining what things look like. And so you might be someone who likes graphs, charts, maps, illustrations, puzzles. And so, like I said, you may have scored high in this area, and perhaps all of these things don't describe you. This is personally one of my top intelligences, but I'm not a huge puzzle person, and so it really just depends. But if you scored high in this category, we consider you picture smart. The next intelligence is bodily or kinesthetic. This is one of your top intelligences. You like physical activity. Maybe you enjoy building things. Think about if you perhaps enjoyed using Legos, even, when you were a child or even now. And you like to do things hands on. Maybe you're looking to go into something in engineering or construction management or something like that. Um, those that are bodily kinesthetic intelligent or body smart are often, not always, often athletic, coordinated, and you prefer participating instead of watching. You kind of really rather, do a hands-on lab or something like that to learn something. And so, like I said, if this is your top category, you are considered body smart. Next is musical or rhythmic. If you're music smart, you learn by expression through song. You maybe play a musical instrument or multiple musical instruments. You have good rhythm and you respond really well to sound. So maybe one thing that you can do if you are musical or rhythmic is you can use song to study. It always reminds me of the Hannah Montana episode. Yes, I am referencing Hannah Montana from the Disney Channel, where she comes up with a song to remember all 206 bones in the body. And so, if you've never seen that episode before, maybe that can help you study for your anatomy test if you are music smart. So you might be someone who is always humming or drumming, whistling. You've got music going on in your head, maybe. And so this describes those people who are music smart. Um, the next one is intrapersonal intelligence. And these people learn by working alone and setting individual goals. So you may not enjoy working in groups, you would prefer to work independently. Um, you're not necessarily shy, but more self aware and reflective. Um, you're independent and you tend to be organized. So we call this being self smart. Next up is interpersonal. These people are people smart, and you learn by relating to others, by sharing, comparing, cooperating. So you're often in communication with others. People who have interpersonal intelligence are typically good leaders, good teammates, and are sensitive to others, perhaps empathetic. Okay, so this one is people smart. Next is a naturalist, or someone who is nature smart. And so, if this is one of your top categories, you learn by working with nature. So, you might like learning about living things and nature. Think about the biological sciences. Maybe you're very passionate about environmental issues as well. So, this would be considered a naturalist intelligence. Okay, so make sure that you guys have your top three categories and you have checked off some things that you are going to try this semester in your top three categories. Make sure that you keep your results from your multiple intelligences inventory so that you can complete your assignment next week as we further dive into learning preferences.